The courtroom fell into an uneasy stillness. Not a single camera blinked, not a murmur escaped. Every person inside could feel the weight of that silence pressing down on them. At the center of it all sat Tiny Harris, her eyes swollen with tears, her voice caught somewhere between heartbreak and disbelief. Weeks of whispers, betrayal, and buried truths had finally crushed her spirit. They said she only uttered one word before breaking down completely. Why? Just a few feet away sat T, the man she had trusted more than anyone. The man who swore he'd never hurt her. Across the aisle, in the second row, Kandi Burruss watched the scene unfold with an expression so unreadable it sent chills through the room. What happened that day wasn't just another celebrity case. It was a reckoning, the kind that strips away the glamour and leaves nothing but raw emotion and uncomfortable truths. Because behind every headline, behind every polished post, there was a story of love twisted by deceit and trust shattered by design. And now, everyone was asking the same question: did T really betray Tiny? Or was he caught in a trap set to destroy them both? The silence grew unbearable. Even the reporters who lived for scandals sat frozen in their seats. Tiny gripped the witness stand, trembling, her confidence gone. The world had seen her as powerful, radiant, untouchable. But now she looked human, broken, fragile. Every flash of a camera outside felt like another wound. T's eyes stayed fixed on the table, his face unreadable but tired, drained of fight. His lawyer whispered to him, but he didn't respond. His gaze kept drifting back to Tiny, and in that look, you could see the truth catching up to him. Meanwhile, Kandi's stillness spoke volumes. Her calm demeanor made everyone wonder what she knew, or what she'd done. Because this wasn't just about gossip anymore. This was about the fall of an empire built on fame, loyalty, and secrets. Outside, chaos reigned. Bloggers dissected every frame of the courtroom footage. T cheated with Kandi. Kandi set Tiny up. Tiny faked her breakdown for sympathy. Theories flooded every platform, but those close to them swore this was no PR stunt. It was real, messy, and spinning out of control. Then came the whisper that broke the internet, an audio leak allegedly capturing Kandi's voice. Calm, smug, and unmistakable. We told him it would explode, but he didn't listen. Now she knows everything. If true, it meant one thing: the betrayal had been planned. Kandi's team denied it, calling it a deepfake, but the damage was irreversible. Within hours, the clip went viral, and the court of public opinion had already decided who was guilty. Back in his studio, T paced restlessly. He'd built a reputation as a family man and businessman, but now that image was shattered. He just keeps watching her cry, a friend confessed. He says there's something in her eyes he can't unsee. Tiny, on the other hand, went silent. Her team refused to speak. Her socials went dark. But behind the scenes, she was piecing together her own investigation. A notebook full of names, dates, and clues. She didn't believe T acted alone. Someone wanted to ruin them both, and she was convinced Kandi held the key. Fans became detectives overnight, digging through old videos and posts, searching for proof. They found evidence: a private meeting between T and Kandi, a too-friendly photo at a charity event. Every moment became a theory. By midnight, hashtags like #TinyBreakdown and #TBetrayal ruled the internet. Then another leak surfaced, a text allegedly from T's phone: "It's done. Make sure she never finds out." No one could prove if it was real, but that didn't matter. The narrative had already been written. By morning, the story had spiraled beyond control. Some said Tiny had left Atlanta. Others claimed she was preparing a statement that could change everything. But her silence was louder than any denial. Inside T's camp, panic spread. PR teams scrambled, but it was too late. News outlets replayed footage of Tiny's tears and T's expression, turning pain into content. Every pause, every glance, every sigh became evidence. Then came one last blow. A blurred image posted by a gossip blog showing Kandi and T together in a studio days before the trial. The caption read, "It wasn't business. It was betrayal." The internet exploded. Fans tagged Tiny in thousands of posts, pleading with her to see the truth. Kandi tried to defend herself, going live briefly, Not everything you see online is real, she said, calm, rehearsed, careful. But the damage was done. People saw guilt in her eyes, hesitation in her voice. By the end of the week, one thing was clear: no one was innocent. What began as a courtroom drama had become a digital war. The empire of fame, loyalty, and trust had fallen apart, not with a bang, but with a leak. And as the world kept watching, Tiny was somewhere in the dark, quietly preparing her next move. Because sometimes, the most dangerous revenge is silence. She sat in the dim light, her voice cracking as she whispered to her friend, "Why is everyone lying?" Her friend could only sigh. She says it feels like she's trapped inside someone else's story. The betrayal had begun to morph into something darker: paranoia. Every new rumor, every fresh leak felt personal, calculated, meant to tear her apart. Tiny began switching her phone off for hours at a time, terrified of what new revelation might flash across her screen next. Then came the twist no one expected. A well-known Atlanta journalist posted a cryptic message on X: "Hidden camera. Deleted file. The truth is darker than you think." The post vanished within minutes, but screenshots had already spread everywhere. Hours later, an anonymous account dropped an audio clip claiming it came from the same studio where T and Kandi were last seen together. The voices were distorted, but one line cut through the static: "She wasn't supposed to find out." That single sentence sent the internet into chaos. The clip was slowed, enhanced, and dissected by online experts, who insisted the voices belonged to T and Kandi. Neither spoke publicly. Their silence said more than any denial could. Social media erupted into battle zones. #TeamTiny, #TeamT, and #TeamKandi fought across timelines. Influencers uploaded hour-long breakdowns. Gossip channels spun theories. Was it betrayal, manipulation, or something staged for attention? Some even suggested the entire ordeal was part of a secret documentary project, a scripted scandal for profit. But if that was true, who was pulling the strings? Inside his studio, T sat alone, staring at his phone screen, his notifications buried under thousands of mentions. He hadn't posted since the leak. One wrong word could destroy him completely. Then his phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "You were warned not to get close. Now pay the price." He froze. The messages had come before, but this one felt different, personal, final. Looking up at the security camera in the corner, he felt a chill crawl through him. Someone was watching, and they wanted him to know it. That same night, a friend of Tiny's received a mysterious envelope at her door. Inside were printed photos, grainy, shadowy, but real enough to identify the faces. One showed Tiny crying outside her home. Another showed T in a parking lot, talking to someone whose face was hidden by darkness. The last image was the most disturbing, a still frame from what looked like a surveillance feed, showing Tiny, T, and Kandi all in the same room. On the back of that photo were 6 chilling words: "This was never about love." The friend hesitated for days before showing Tiny. When she finally did, Tiny didn't scream or cry. She just stared in silence before whispering, "They wanted us to fall apart. Now they've won." Outside, reporters still camped out, cameras flashing, desperate for a statement. Inside, the truth was unraveling, not just because of what they'd done, but because of everything they didn't know. Then came another explosion. By sunrise, a new clip surfaced online, grainy security footage allegedly showing T and Kandi in a heated argument. The video lasted only 90 seconds but spread faster than wildfire. Kandi's voice was sharp. "You said she'd never find out." T snapped back. "That wasn't part of the deal." Then came a crash, the door slammed, and the screen went black. Within minutes, the video was everywhere. Some said it proved Tiny's suspicions were right. Others called it fake, a digital setup meant to fuel the chaos. But it didn't matter, the damage was irreversible. Betrayal had become visible, audible, undeniable. Tiny's name trended for the 3rd straight day. She still hadn't appeared publicly, but insiders claimed she'd seen the footage and hadn't stopped crying since. T, meanwhile, had vanished completely. His phone was off. His team couldn't reach him. His lawyer refused to comment. For a man known for control, His silence sounded like surrender. But behind closed doors, whispers said something else, that T was working on his own plan. One friend claimed he had evidence, real proof of who was behind the leaks. He knows who did this, the friend said. He's just not sure it's safe to reveal it. And then, another bombshell hit. Major news outlets received an anonymous email titled, "You're watching the wrong story." Inside was a single attachment, a document filled with financial records, shell company names, and media contracts tied to an unnamed streaming platform. The file suggested everything, from the leaked recordings to the viral arguments, had been part of a planned production called Love and Loyalty, The Price of Fame. If true, that meant everyone, Tiny, T, Kandi, and even their fans, were pawns in a carefully engineered scandal meant to build hype for a documentary. But before the claims could be verified, the email vanished. The sender's account was deleted, the document link went dead, and the trail turned cold. Still, screenshots spread like wildfire. "It's all scripted," one fan tweeted. "They're using real pain for content," another replied. And just like that, the line between truth and illusion disappeared. Tiny, isolated and exhausted, reportedly called her lawyer the next morning. "I'm done," she said. "Done with the marriage, the media, everything." Her friend revealed she didn't even care about who leaked what anymore. She just wanted peace. But peace was a luxury none of them could afford. Because as she tried to disappear, yet another leak emerged, a private voicemail, allegedly between T and Tiny, recorded after her courtroom breakdown. Her trembling voice whispered through static, "You promised me it would never go this far." And the world, once again, fell silent. He whispered, "They made me look like a fool," and her quiet reply followed, "You were never meant to see that clip." The audio cut abruptly, sparking new chaos online. Some claimed T confessed, others said it was edited. Rumors spread of a hidden insider leaking details to keep the drama alive. Atlanta turned into a stage of truth and lies. As silence fell, one question lingered. Who controls the story, and who profits from the pain? If this story kept you on edge, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real-life drama, secrets, and scandals that hit deeper than fiction. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who do you believe?